I am back to discuss and go over episode 11 of Divorce Sistas. Now there's a lot going on in this. There's some juiciness, there's some triflingness, low downness. Let's get into it. So last episode, Laz was overdosing. And we open up with this episode with Rashida giving him some Narcan that she got, and after they got him back revived, she was talking to Jeff and she was like, something told me to pick this up. And oh my gosh, so the Narcan saved his life. Anyone familiar with how fentanyl works? I think Narcan, if I'm not mistaken, fentanyl slows down your nervous system. Don't quote me. And I think the Narcan like shoots you with adrenaline or something like that. But like I said, don't quote me. But anyway, they're talking to him and he didn't want to give up, the dope pusher. But come to find out, he got it from someone in the church. So of course, Rashida and Jeff are like, oh my God, someone in the church. And it's like, why do y'all act like people in the church are these different, special people? They're human just like Eric. They got stuff going on. You got people cheating with each other. You got people doing all kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not surprised that he found out from someone in the church. Now, when the drug test came back, it said it was just weed. He wasn't on any other drugs, but it was laced with fentanyl. That is extremely scary because if you smoke, let's say you're a person, you just smoke weed, that's just your thing, you smoke weed, you don't do any hard drugs. You're thinking you're smoking some herb and it's laced with fentanyl? That is scary as hell. Like, look, for any of y'all that smoke weed, I don't, but for any of y'all that do, make sure you roll it up yourself, or hell, you might even want to grow the plant yourself, okay? Be careful depending on what state you live in. But Jeff tells him that he's gonna go to a rehab. Um, I don't know if that's necessary or not. I'm like I said, I'm not familiar with fentanyl. Um, I don't know if being overdose or overdosing means you have to go to rehab. But he did take him to a morgue, and Jeff knew the doctor, and the doctor was showing. He actually showed him a body of, I think the boy was 12, who had died from fentanyl, and there were other children there that had died from it. Now, I'm going to say this, and I know that's supposed to be a serious scene, but his damn voice was getting on my nerves, something terrible. He was like, yes, you're very lucky that you survived. Like, I just couldn't get into that. Like, look, we know it's a serious scene, but you put a little bit too much on it, Doc, for me, okay? Yeah, that was getting on my nerves. So we scoot to Naomi, and I got my notes here. I'm just going to be going all over the place. Might be coming back to stuff. So Naomi tells Geneva that Javon is going to be helping her with this whole situation with her ex-husband, Franklin. Now, Geneva tries to act as if she's mad because Naomi didn't ask her about Anika. No, you're mad because Javon is helping your friend. You want Javon to yourself. She is the villain of the show. I'm sorry. I cannot stand Geneva. So now Naomi proceeds to tell her that, yeah, I was over at Tiffany's house and he came down in his drawers. And why she told her that, I don't know. But then again, I think Rashida is the only one that knows she slept with Javon at this point. Tiffany definitely doesn't know, and obviously Naomi doesn't know. So she told Geneva that, of course, Geneva, her married self, had a fit about a man she's not married to. So let's see. Oh, I wrote this down wrong. But anyway, now this is a scene that I'm like, girl, stay in your lane. But Rashida goes over to Tiffany's house and she can hear Tiffany and Javon having sex, through the door. And Tiffany was like, give me a minute or something. She was like, I heard you and Javon, blah, blah, blah. So when she comes into the house, not Geneva, I keep saying Geneva, Rashida. When Rashida comes into the house, Tiffany and Javon come downstairs and he said, oh, you made some coffee. And Rashida goes, yes, for her and I, which I know she's trying to sound all bougie, but the correct way is to say her and me, or she and me. Me is supposed to be in there some kind of way. Anyway, she was like, for her and I can make you some to go. And I'm like, so that's her passive aggressive way of telling him he needs to leave. Rashida, your son damn near died that morning, and you're still putting energy into what Tiffany, a grown 40-something-year-old woman, is doing, because you know that's Geneva's boo thing, even though she's married. Like, Rashida, what are you doing? You got too much to worry about yourself than to be over there. I'll give you some coffee to go, like you telling him to leave. That's not your house. That's Tiffany's house. And Tiffany can do whatever the hell she wants to do. I'm sorry. Like, you're the first lady. You're not even really supposed to be getting involved in this kind of stuff anyway. I understand that's your friend, but your friend is grown. It's not like she's 16 or something. So I'm like, girl, what else? Okay, so Naomi thinks she's trying to be on the run here. Busts up into Geneva's office, brings her $5 million in cash, and asks her to basically hide it because she's like, if she goes to prison, he's going to be taking her money and her assets or whatever. So she's trying to, talking about okay, freeze it in this country and take it over here and put it over there. I mean, I don't blame Naomi. Like, who's trying to go to prison and come out broke? Like, so we're going to see if Geneva's going to do that. Now, the low down part, there's a lot of low down parts in this, but I really want to talk about Naomi. Last year, she had that escort / hitman dude. I think he basically just do whatever he got to do for money. He's an escort. He's a stripper. So she's talking about having him kill her ex-husband. And she was like, yeah, he used to put his hands on me and stuff. I came downstairs one day and my makeup was messed up and he just went across my face and all this stuff. And I think you could tell he was like still not sure about trying to kill this guy. This is what gets me, because I feel like she lied. I don't feel like it's true. She told this man that her husband molested their son and turned him against her. The fact that happens to people for real, I have a problem with people that lie about molestation and rape, because first of all, molestation is probably, if it's not one of the worst, if it's not the worst, it's definitely one of the worst things you can be accused of. And to lie about it, I just feel like you are just a low down, dirty ass person. And I'm sorry, I don't feel like her husband molested her son. I think she did that to put a battery in his back for him to be like, oh man, I got to kill this dude now. Because nobody feels sorry for a child molester getting killed. Let's just be real. If a child molester gets killed, it's like, okay, well, what else is going on? What are we having for dinner tonight? And I felt like she said that to get him ramped up. And it did. He was like, oh man, this dude gotta die. You know what I'm saying? So they go by her ex-husband's house, and she's basically telling them to set up like, okay, there's cameras here that, getting them prepared. That might be on the next episode because I did watch the one after this, but we'll get back to that. But I just want to get on it like, Naomi, I knew you was crazy as hell, but that's just you doing too much now with that shit. So William meets with Jeff. Jeff is his pastor / friend. And he's trying to narrow down who the father is. Now, I want to give Tyler Perry props for this part because he had us for a second. William was like, I was trying to think about, the men that were there, all the time on a consistent basis. And I thought it came down to you. And he was talking about Jeff. And Jeff was like, hold up. But it was just for a split second because then he was like, but I know you wouldn't do that. So I'm thinking it's Javon was there and then some dude named Quincy who goes to the church. So he's like, I knew he didn't stay on Javon too long. He was like, I knew Geneva won't do that. Javon wouldn't either. It's like, shit. So they zeroing in on this dude named Quincy. So Quincy is about to get caught up in some mess he don't even know about. This is crazy. The ish is about to hit the fan on this. Because Quincy catching a stray. Hell, he might catch a stray literally, okay? William is hot. So Jeff is like, you know what? Let's all have dinner and meet up and talk about this. And because William was like, Rashida, he says she tells Rashida everything. I know she knows who the father is, right? At this point, I don't think Jeff for sure doesn't know it's Javon at this point. So that dinner is going to be very interesting. Now this is close to the last scene. Geneva talks to, is it Myron? I think it's Myron with an M. The dude that's really, really fine, but he can't act worth a damn. Tyler Perry, again, please give him some acting lessons. But anyway, she brought him into her, office, and she was basically trying to get him to admit that, look, you like Jeff, you have a crush on Jeff, whatever. And he tried to do this whole, I didn't grow up with a father figure. And it's like, why do y'all always lean on that? Like, please. Anyway, she said, if I hear about you being attracted to my husband again, I'm going to bust your head open with a bottle. I was like, man, listen, the church is the only place of employment where somebody can threaten your ass and then you still are just like, yes, ma'am, and then go back to your duties because what? Damn, she didn't even threaten that girl. Remember the first 2 episodes, that girl tried to claim that Pastor Jeff raped her and she was lying. I don't even think she said all that to her. Like, girl, that was so funny though. She said, I'm gonna bust your head open with a bottle. And so the last scene is Tiffany and Javon are waiting for Naomi at the courthouse. They're outside and they're kind of flirting and talking. And Geneva comes huffing and puffing. This is so unprofessional. And again, she tried to make Tiffany feel bad about not calling her about Anika. And even though she's the one that told her to go home when they were at the hospital, the fact is you're really mad about Javon, but the fact that you're trying to use your child as a pawn, as you're not mad about her asking about Anika. You're mad about her screwing Javon. That's what you're mad about. And I'm just like, I want William to totally divorce her. Like, this show is called Divorce Sistas. He needs to divorce Geneva because you're talking about you're in love with Javon. The only time you bring up William, quote unquote, might be cheating is when you're trying to get the heat off of you about him questioning about the paternity of the child. Luckily, he doesn't know it's Javon yet. Like, girl, I'll be back later with episode 12. Shout out to my 210 subscribers. Shout out to the rest of you as well who are not subscribed. But you know you can by hitting that button for me. I very much appreciate it. We're going to try this again to get to 1,000 subbies by the end of this year. It's May. You got, 7 more months? Really about 6 at this point. Let's do it. Peace and blessings to every last one of you watching. Until next time.